Hey guys, welcome to the session by Intellipaat. Programming and coding. Even though they seem like the same thing, there are certain differences that lie in between these two concepts, and I'm sure you guys, as enthusiasts, as learners, are willing to understand the differences that lie in between coding and programming. So, we here at Intellipaat have come up with this lesson where we'll be discussing the actual differences that exist in between coding and programming. But then, before we begin with this session, make sure to hit that subscribe button and hit that bell icon so that you will never miss any updates from us. Now, here's the agenda for today. We'll start out by taking a quick understanding of what coding is, and later we'll check out the introduction to what programming actually means. And after this, we'll take a deep dive into a couple of points where we'll be analyzing and assessing the differences that lie in between coding and programming. And by the end of this session, we are sure you'll have a complete clarity about the topic. Well, guys, without further ado, let's begin with the class.
So coming to the first point on the agenda of this coding versus programming video, what is coding, right? When you think about it, so in fact, here is a quote written by me. Coding is the art of conversing with a machine and have it talk back to you. Well, I believe I stand with this quote because at the end of the day, whenever you talk about coding, right? So I consider coding as an art where you talk to a machine, you talk to your computer, and the computer understands that and talks back to you. See, this may not be literal in a way where, think about a very simple Python program, right? I'm sure all the programmers out there, all the developers watching the video, or even students, the hello world program is the most common, right? So when you talk to the program in a way where you type out the actual code, you type it out in Python, print hello world, and then as soon as you hit enter, the machine understands that and it prints it back to you. That's the conversation that happens, and it's a beautiful thing in the world of computing, right? See, whenever we talk about coding, one very important thing is that it's always high level language. You talking to the machine will be in almost mid-level to high-level languages such as Python, C, C++, C Sharp, Java, where the syntax is either it's simple, either it's complex, but it's in native English language, right? So if you're trained on these syntaxes, it means that you can have the ability to understand the syntax and use it with your machine. It's as simple as that. But one very important thing when we talk about coding is that coding is not the solution, but coding is a key part to achieve the solution. You will see why as soon as we start comparing coding with respect to programming. And then when we talk about prototyping, right? Prototyping is when you have an idea and you want to have an initial product ready, based on the idea to just go one step ahead into taking it into production, correct? So to do that, coding is an amazing thing to start with, because at the end of the day, taking an idea into a product is difficult, but in 99% of the cases with code, in any field, be it artificial intelligence, even medicine, coding applies. I'll tell you how as well. So in all of these fields, it's very important that you understand, what goes on. See, whenever we think about coding, right, understand this. Almost everything in today's world that is powered by electricity requires one form of code or the other. It can be a piece of software that's talking to a microchip, a microcontroller, a microprocessor. It's programmed. The world of zeros and ones is the only thing a computer understands. You might be like, hey, I talk to Alexa or I talk to Siri and they talk back to me. Yes, when you talk to them, whatever you say gets converted into these binary digits into zeros and ones, and that's how Siri and Alexa and anything in the world of computing gets decoded, and then it codes back a response in zeros and ones. But then, we have a middleman or a middle person sitting there converting these zeros and ones to you or from you to the machine. This is one very important thing about coding. Now, if you're a gamer, let me tell you this, all the games that we play, right? So be it on a mobile platform, be it on a console, be it on a PC, wherever it is, all of these games, they are zeros and ones. Yes, all the designs that go into it, all the logic of the working, it's every single line of code that goes into making a game. There's of course millions of lines of code, there's textures, there's rendering of these textures, and there's so many things. So when you look at it, right, a game is basically a combination of a lot of lines of code. Now, you might be wondering why I've put up a doctor there, right? See, in the field of genome analytics, or let's say, even during the pandemic right now, Did you know that there was a firm which actually detected the spread, of the COVID-19 virus even before it was officially declared by WHO? There was an algorithm put into place by a very famous company, and these guys started seeing spikes in the level of pneumonia in the Wuhan region of China. And this AI algorithm's spike actually led to people knowing that there is something wrong there. And of course, later, 2 or 3 weeks later, WHO, the World Health Organization, came out and said it's COVID-19. But hey, it was an algorithm, it was a computer, it was a machine that picked it up first. Now, when we think about architects, right? See, here is where prototyping to product means a lot. At the end of the day, you have a plan. You have a plan either on paper or you have a 3D model on your PC, right? All the architects, in case if anyone's watching, you guys will know that building 2D models and 3D models is not easy. Even though you have a very easy to use interface there, right, it is very difficult to actually achieve this, and there's a lot of code that goes into creating these 3D designs and models for you guys as well. You might be a photographer. So how many guys of you watching this video is a photographer? Because at the end of the day, you might have used tools like Photoshop, Lightroom, and a lot of other tools where it's mostly drag and drop, it's clicks, it's a lot of keyboard shortcuts, right? But then whenever you put a filter on it, this filter contains many lines of code that plays with the RGB settings, that gives it the effect. Even the social media apps, wherever you think of it, right? See, circling back to the same thing, almost everything that's powered by electricity requires code in one way or another, and we can discuss this for an entire day. But now, to keep it to the scope, let's move on. So what is programming? We saw coding. So what is programming? See, programming involves coding and a lot of other things as well. I'll tell you why. Programming is this end-to-end solution to a problem. Coding is where the person understands the syntax and has the ability to convert a high-level code into a low-level piece of code and talk to the machine in general. But does that solve the problem? No, it's like a translator, right? A coder is basically a translator who knows the syntax of a programming language that he or she is working with. A programmer, on the other hand, can do this and has the ability to do a lot of other things as well. There'll be a lot of tools required to finally solve a problem, to provide an end-to-end solution to the complete problem. And of course, involves data handling, involves data processing, data analysis, and a lot of other things as well. The world of programming came into picture because, we all had problems that needed solution, and we realized that, and the world of high competitive power, through computers and machines can be leveraged to do this. And once that was in the picture, right, a coder sat at the beginning to say, I can convert this piece of code to solve the problem a halfway, or let's say 1/3, and then a programmer comes into the picture and says, thanks for the code, well, now let's solve the problem by handling all the data, processing it, working with it, and seeing that the problem is solved. That's what a programmer does. See, as I just told you, right, programming involves problem solving, even though the person may or may not know code. It involves computational thinking in a way to find ideas, find the effective solutions which are very efficient at eventually solving the problem. See, sometimes you have to be creative in the world of programming, right? So if there are 10 solutions to a problem, there's a very good chance 3 or 4 of them are very different from each other, and the world can definitely use a 11th solution to an existing problem as well. And when you think about new things, of course, there are a lot of problems that are unsolved in the world of programming today, in the world of computing generally. A programmer can be put into place to solve all of these. And then working in programming will ensure that your leadership skills grow, because it takes a leader to see end-to-end product development, to see end-to-end prototype to production environment. So in that particular case, all of these are required by a programmer. And if you're wondering who the person on the left is, she's Lady Ada Lovelace. She's considered to be the world's first programmer. In the 19th century, she worked on Charles Babbage's computer and helped with a lot of code there as well. So she's considered to be the world's first programmer, and I thought that she would be a right fit for this particular slide. Now, moving on, what's coding versus programming? Where does the differences lie? Let's get straight to it. The first point we'll talk about is the definition, right? See, coding is the approach where we're trying to translate natural language, a language that we understand and converse in, and making our computer understand this. So it's us translating this language into computer understandable language, where the computer will directly not understand high level language. It'll have something called as an interpreter. It'll have a compiler, and all of these entities are used by the machine to understand us, and later whatever output it gives we cannot understand directly, so it gets converted back into high level language where we understand it and brings it out. Programming, when we talk about it, right, it's an entire process. It's not just having a person who understands a syntax or a new language. Let's say you guys are sitting in the United States of America or any other country where English is the native language. Let's say you worked on picking up Japanese. You learned Japanese, but if you do not know how to use Japanese, think about the analogy here. You can be considered as a coder if you just know Japanese, but at the end of the day you're not using Japanese to solve a problem. But if you're a programmer, you will learn Japanese, you will know how to use Japanese, and there's a very good chance that you'll use it to solve problems as well. So I just gave you a very rough analogy there, but I'm sure you got what I meant. Coming to point number 2, we have to talk about the end goal of both coding and programming, right? See, in the case of coding, what happens is that we are trying to provide a simple solution or a part of the solution to the entire problem that exists. But in programming, this is not the case. It's not just a simple solution or a part of the solution, but it's the complete package where we get the problem statement, we analyze it, we see what data is required, we see how we can solve it, we eventually solve it, and at the end of the day, we make sure that we verify that the solution is actually working and that it solves the problem. This is what the end goal is. Coding takes us halfway or quarter way there, and programming ensures that we can take everything from the start to the end and more. Coming to point number 3, we have to talk about approach. See, approaching coding is something which is very easy because at the end of the day, it takes little to no preparation to take a prototype and to take an idea and making it into a prototype. Because what happens here is that we're trying to use trial and error methods. We're trying to write code from scratch. We start with an algorithm. The algorithm gets converted into a flowchart. The flowchart can get converted into pseudocode. Pseudocode gets converted into actual code. This is how coding works. In programming, all of this can be done, but at the end of the day, if you're trying to solve a problem and talking about a production environment, here we need a structured approach. We need high attention to detail and trial and error. There is a good chance it will not work in many of the cases. I mean, yes, there are cases where it will work, where you can champion trial and error in the case of programming, but generally it's very structured and it requires high amount of detail when you're working on a project end to end as well. Coming to point number 4, we have to talk about experience. See, when we talk about experience, right, coding requires basic or let's say, intermediate knowledge of a programming language, its working, its syntaxes, its libraries, what it has to offer, why the language exists, and how best can you use the language. This is coding. Programming, when we talk about it, you will understand how best to use the programming language to solve the problem. How can this programming language help solve your complex problems in an easy way? How can you type less code to have maximum efficiency? How can you implement new algorithms? How can you go on to do data processing, data management, project management? All of these are considered under programming, and I think now you guys have a clear picture of what's going on, right? Let's check out more. Let's check out the tools that is needed for coding and programming. See, to start out with coding, it's really not tough, as I just mentioned. All you will need is a simple text editor where you can start typing in your programs and you can finish the required tasks. You have a problem statement at hand. Let's say you have a programming question that states, probably print 1 to 10 or print the Fibonacci series or something. All you have to do is open up a text editor, type it in, your code is ready, your problem is solved. In the case of programming, right, this is not the case. Of course, you can start your programming career with coding, but at the end of the day here, you'll have to make use of multiple tools. You need code generators, you need debuggers, you need syntax helpers, you need test frameworks, third-party libraries, and a lot more as well. But then do not be overwhelmed by this comparison. Programming is easy, no doubt, but when you directly compare it to coding, right, it requires that much task at the end of the day. And then when you talk about the next point, which is machine interaction is where programming has total control. I'll tell you why. Because in the case of coding, what happens here is that with coding, as we just mentioned, it's only translating high level language into machine level language. You're typing print hello world. Now the machine understands it's hello world. It prints it back to you. So you know what you're typing. The Python language understood it. The machine understood it. You won. With programming, that's not the case, because here you will have the entire control of how things work as well. In many of the cases, you can be working with very complex programming frameworks. You can in fact have a custom programming language that solves a very specific problem. You can see how the program changes with each individual state, each individual step, and to see what is changing in the program with every single step as well. You can see how the data moves, why the data moves the way it does, and is it doing it right or not. You can check all of these very, very, very easily, but then you need to know how to do it. That's where the challenge lies in when you think about it, right? Now, how can you get a quick start with either coding or programming? Coding is basically helping you through the initial phases of a product development to either provide one part of the solution, to be a key part of the application. Let's say, when you think about coding, right? Even web developers are coders, because one person can be working on the front end side of it. You can have a team sitting on the back end. There'll be another team working on database handling. There'll be another team working on user experience. There'll be another team working on putting content out there. So when you think about it, all of these guys can be considered as coders in one way or another. Because at the end of the day, whatever tools that they are using, they're typing in high level language out there, but they know the syntax of it. If a person who's developing content is typing out in English, it's a high level language. But then if a Python programmer sits and start writing Python syntax, that person itself is also writing in high level syntax, but at the end of the day, for a very different purpose. You need to know that. With programming, that's not the case. Programming does all of this and more, because here we're trying to deal with coding in general and to see what comes after coding. See, this is where the difference lies in, because after coding, we have a lot of scenarios that take place. We have a lot of things we need to check out on how we can take this code and how we can actually implement it to see if the implementation worked. If not, get back to coding, get back to the charts and start working again. But then if it works, next step is to see why it works, how can it be done better. This is a cycle that happens in the world of programming, and coding, let's say, is that first push into the solution, but rest is carried out by programming, in my opinion. So what is the average salary of coders and programmers? See, coders, as I told you, have the capability to make the machine talk and talk to the machine themselves. They get an average salary of somewhere around $90,000 per annum in the USA and around 5,50,000 rupees in India. Programmers have a slightly better average salary where they get $112,000 per annum in the USA and 7,30,000 Indian rupees here. So here, when you think about it, there is not really much gap, and both of the job roles require a lot of talent. They require some effort, and then you have to know a programming language if you want to become a coder, or let's say if you want to have a career in programming as well. So in this particular case, both of these provide attractive salary benefits for a starting role. You can be a person right out of college. You can be a person who's looking for their first job. You can be an intermediate developer. You can be a marketing person who's moving into coding. You can be an architect who's moving into coding as well. So understand that the salary averages are very good, because at the end of the day, coder's role and a programmer's role are trending jobs to have in this decade, and it's been forecasted to be the same for the next decade as well. So in that particular case, either you become a coder, either you become a programmer, you'll be in good hands as well. Now, which one do you have to choose, or which one should you choose? This giving you a straightforward answer here would be very difficult, because it depends on what you want to do. Are you inclined towards developing a software by writing a lot of lines of code and understanding that it'll have a huge part in the problem solution? Or do you want to write code and make sure you tackle a problem, solve the problem completely, and do it in a very elegant and an effective way? Because it's not just about solving the problem, it's about providing documentation, it's about solving it in a best way, it's about understanding that your problem has a solution which works correctly as it's supposed to, and a lot more. So depending on your interest, where you want to put 100% of your time, you can either pick up coding or you can either pick up programming. Well, with this, we come to the end of this quick comparison in between coding and programming.
We hope this session was very informative for you all. If you have any questions, any comments, or any feedback, make sure to head to the comment section and do let us know there. We'll be more than happy to help you out. And on that note, I wish you well and I'll see you on the next one.